You don't have no other problem other than struggling to get pussy.
Lock in, bro. Lock in, bro. Why you post this fake bullshit? We are suffering out here. We are suffering. Today's my birthday. Today's my birthday. No limousine with a driver and a cake and no coffee in the bed. And my life is great. But for some reason, I'm sitting there and I don't know why. And I'm just depressed. Suffering is not a competition, bro. I have also my right. I can't comprehend it. You don't go to bars. You don't talk to people. You don't have no hobbies. How much do you earn? Where you live? Do you have a house? Do you have a car? Do you have a this? Everything I work for is just gone. Oh, we played a video game. You're not a real man.
So what? So what? I'll still kick your ass. You know, you're always in the dirt. You don't know when you get whacked. I'm also pissed off all the time. Not for her, not for anybody else, not for society, but for myself. No women, no friends, no freaking nothing. You're probably seeing that it's a provocative title, but I think it's an interesting topic because the loneliness epidemic amongst the men is not going anywhere. You know, I made a previous video about that. I think today is a good day for this thing because, you know, my brother here today is getting 24. We, woke up today and asked him, so what we gonna do, man? And he said, yeah, let's go to the gym. So ain't something special about it. You know, today we're used to men who are crying on YouTube about ordinary day problems. Yeah, we could also sit there, there is no limousine with a driver and a cake and no coffee in the bed. And we could cry all day about it, but you know, the earth is not circulating around us. We ain't fucking special. You know, it is what it is. And I wanted to mention that topic because we running content on different languages right now. We just made a video on our German channel and we just looked through the content yesterday on YouTube, on German, on English, and the amount of young fellas out there who are, suffering and carrying on this suffer like a medal on their chest out there now. It's just crazy because, I get it. There are serious problems in society, and to be totally honest with you, I don't know how to solve them at this point. I mean, it's no wonder for me that people get back to religion. I see more and more people in the comments, oh, all you need is Jesus and God and this and that, and all those OnlyFans models who turn from OnlyFans to Jesus and all things, which is probably a separate topic. But I mean, it's no wonder for me because at that point society is just is getting crazier day by day, and we're a very good example for that shit. In 2022, the war took off in Ukraine. We took our bags. We left the country. Nobody asked us about our mental state and how we felt about it and anything. I had a business going on for myself that I planned on doing for the next couple of years. I had plans in place. 2021, believe it or not, was one of the best years of my life. I had women for myself. I had a new car from a company I was working with. Finally, started to make more and more money, and everything looked perfectly. And then boom, February 2022, everything fall apart. Everything I worked for was just gone in a heartbeat. I had to leave and start fresh here outside Russia right now. And it's cool that I have the languages and that I have options and shit, but still I'm in my mid-30s. I'm 36, turned recently 36. He's 24 today. Other guys of my age, they already have companies, empires built for themselves, families, children, a house, whatever's going on. I got nothing. I could sit here and cry all day about it and say, this is not fair, the world's not fair, the society is doomed, and why, had the boomers had it easier to buy a house, and I have to, work my ass off to build a $1 million business in order to afford a house or something like that. I mean, it's all great. Maybe there were generations before me who had it a little bit easier, but to be honest, no, and I mentioned that example in a video before, my great-granddad, the granddad of my father, he fought in World War I, in the Finnish War, the Soviets against the Finnish, and the Second World War. He was 54 when he was drafted to World War II, okay? There are guys today who have a whole bunch of problems with their health, condition whatsoever they have. He was drafted, nobody asked him about it, and for the next 4 to 5 years, he was fighting in some ditches, in the winter time, which is a little bit different than Europe, you're always in the dirt. You don't know when you get whacked.
No food, diseases.
Diseases, diarrhea, people you love, or where your friends get blown to pieces, next to you, and you survive. And he survived all that with serious injuries, but he came back, continued to live for quite some time after that. And I asked myself, that man, which I didn't know personally, but my father told him about him. He didn't talk about the war. He was negative. He was always into something. My dad was a small boy still, and he was his favorite grandchild, and they were doing all kinds of stuff. They were doing little weapons and this and that and building little houses and all kinds of shit, and he was always positive because men who are going through serious shit like this, they don't want to waste time anymore on self-pity after that. It's just my impression. I'm not forcing my worldview on anybody. To be honest, most of the guys, I know there are guys out there with serious problems, but most of the guys are writing this mental health problem, issue, loneliness, depression shit, which is actually absolutely disrespectful to the men out there who are struggling seriously. Because most young fellas out there who are writing this thing, and I see this on YouTube and on Instagram, and I can immediately tell you, you don't have no other problem other than struggling to get pussy. That's the only freaking problem you have. You don't struggle to get food, you don't struggle to survive, to put a roof over your head, especially when it comes from guys in Europe or the States and developed countries. I mean, come on. I mean, we could sit here now and complain about so many things, but instead I choose to work for it, to, this phrase that, I can't hear it anymore in social media, but lock in, bro, lock in, bro. Everybody's on lock in, bro, and winter arc and this and that and all those bullshit words. Nobody told me shit about some lock in, winter arc, lonely wolf bullshit. When I was 20, when I was kicked out of school, when I was standing pushing night shifts at the gas station thinking I was ending as a second-class citizen scrubbing toilets because I couldn't get no education because that's what I was programmed into. And when I came from Germany to Russia, knowing anybody, not knowing really the language I should, I don't know how to behave and shit. And then I started to work as a translator for going on for years, and they put you in different roles in different countries, and it's just a normal state of being. But today you have social media conditioning everybody, conditioning the women to be bad boss bitches, and you deserve the very best. And even if you're from some village or something like that, you have a crown on your head, like you deserve Dan Bilzerian, not less. And the guys are not even trying today because they see all this bullshit on social media and think everybody's a hoe, can't trust anybody, and winter art. And they're just locking away, sedating themselves with Netflix and Pornhub and video games and shit. But that's also not a solution. I mean, I don't want to duplicate all the phrases from Tate here, but one of the reasons why he got so big is on social media because he pointed it out. And I didn't even see how big it was until we started to run our theme pages. Maybe you came over from the theme pages that we're running. And the amount of DMs and comments I see under the posts, And you know what's interesting is, today, the last time, if you post something positive, I made a reel about James Bond. I took the scenes from this James Bond movie, where Daniel Craig is, and then he's women, he's shooting, he's working out, he's driving a car, men's lifestyle, which is positive. This is, what we men strive for. This is a great lifestyle. And the comments, 80% is negative.
Oh no, bro, that's Daniel Craig's life, not our life. We are suffering. Oh no, this fake. Why you post this fake bullshit? We are suffering out here.
Yeah, then wear it like a fucking medal on your chest. If that's what you encompass your whole life about, just I'm suffering. You don't want to get out of it. This is the same as all those discussions with racism. I remember watching this video with Morgan Freeman, and it was a journalist asking me, how do we get rid of racism? Don't talk about it. You're pushing it. As long as you're not talking about it, there isn't a thing. But if you come, how do we get over racism? You mention it. Before you mention it, there was no racism. There was Morgan Freeman and some, I don't know, John Dickhead or something like that. As soon as you mention it, you empower it. It's his birthday today. It's like this video with Joe Rogan. Hey, nobody gives a shit.
Oh, today's my birthday. Today's my birthday.
Yeah, so fucking what? I mean, you're a grown-ass man. Yeah, what did you expect? Ronald fucking McDonald with a cake at your doorstep? I mean, it is what it is. And at this point now, a couple of years ago, as I mentioned, 2021, I had a business going on for myself. I had relationships all the time. I had this kind of high life a little bit. It dropped to zero and then going down in self-pity and sitting there on social media, I have 1 million followers. It just blows my mind what we had just seen yesterday. Sitting dudes, literally, I have 1 million followers on YouTube and my life is great, but for some reason, I'm sitting there and I don't know why, and I'm just depressed and I'm just
crying in my car,
Well, sorry, but fuck you then. Because there are guys right now coming over in sandals to your country with literally nothing in their pockets trying to build something. There are dudes out there and their childs have cancer. And then you have those dickheads somewhere in the comments suffering is not a competition, bro. I have also my right. Yeah, then you deserve every last bit of it that you get, if that's your attitude. In my humble opinion, I'm not here to insult anyone, I'm not here to drag anyone down, but at some point, grow some balls. I have absolute respect and mercy and compassion for people who are really struggling with something, but it's not that amount that is being represented on social media. I will never ever believe in my life that is that amount of pussies out there sitting there, I can't handle
like this, you can't handle air, you know, like handle the normal life that you are in, you know, if you're lonely in your 20s. I was lonely in my 20s, you know, pretty much it's 80% of my 20s. I was lonely, and nobody told me on social media, hey bro, you need help, you need somebody to talk to, somebody this, that, and, you know, make reels about Winter Arc and all of that shit. I have no solution. If you ask me, okay, Mr. Wise Guy, so what's your solution? I have no solution for society as such. I wouldn't be surprised if the downward spiral really leads us to some form of reboot of society, because it can't go on this way. It just can't. So I don't know what the long-term effects of this whole thing will be. But the realities are, and it's one of the major reasons why Tate got so big. You know, you have to work on yourself. What's the solution? There is no solution. It's all-out competition. You can work on yourself. It's not the only measurement for me as a man that's standing in front of me, you know, gym and how it looks like. But if you're a young dude, it's one of the most evident things you can do in order to feel better, to look better, to, you know, raise your market value in terms of sexual relationships, and then also the career. You have a bunch of stuff you can do today. When I was 20-year-old, I didn't have no AI, I didn't have no drop shipping, I didn't have no, you know, Amazon and all kinds of, you know, these things. It was not a thing. You know, I mean, social media was around, but there was no influencers or something like that who were, you know, were paving the way for you to, this kind of. When I was 20 years old and I was standing at the gas station looking out of the window pushing night shifts when he was small, you know, at home, and me and my father were just thinking about how to pay the bills and how to put food on the table, I had no freaking idea what to do with my life, and I felt like a failure so damn hard. And now, you know, at 36, I don't have the biological capital. You know, there are people out there who are millionaires with 50 or 60 years old. They would give everything away to have your age back. And you're sitting there and drowning yourself in self-pity. I mean, come on, man. There are billionaires probably out there who would give all of it away to be 20 again. But you don't realize that when you have 20. And to be honest with you, now at 36, I'm way more positive than I was 20, because I see perspective. As long as I breathe, as long as I don't have, you know, some terminal diseases and cancer and shit, I get up, I thank God, and I use what He gave me in terms of brains, in terms of my body, as long as I can, because sooner or later it's over. It's all just borrowed. You know, this physical, you know, shell representation of us. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. I'm just pointing my point out. You know, sooner or later we are done. We're finished. So you only have this time. And what are you going to spend it for? For self-pity and for empowering this all? Yeah, the problems are there. But are you going to feed them or to work, you know, on the thing to get rid of them and get out of this cycle? So that's it. I'm not going to give you, you know, the formula like, tell you have to get a Bugatti, get rich and this, that, you know. But he also adapted his thing into getting the best version of himself, whatever that is. You know, it's individual for everybody. You know, I respect any man who's a decent man for the very essence of him as a man. As such, I don't care for the Bugattis, I don't care for the muscles, for the biceps whatsoever. You only have so much things you can work on as a man in life, and it's totally fine. There is no girlfriend around. You have no life, no party life. You know, last date I was on with, you know, this crazy woman. She was genuinely looking at me, you know, when I was, I don't have, you know, I'm working, I'm going to the gym, and then, that's pretty much all I do. Oh, how can you live this boring life? I can't comprehend it. You don't go to bars. You don't talk to people. You don't have no hobbies. You don't do that. You don't do that. And I'm looking the same way at her, genuinely asking myself, I don't understand you either. I don't have the time for this shit. You know, I'm 36 for the very reason that I come on these dates, and the first things you fucking gonna ask me is, what do you do for a living? How much do you earn? Where you live? Do you have a house? Do you have a car? Do you have a this? Yeah, I will never have that if I spend my time wasting, you know, sitting there chit-chatting, having coffees with dickheads that leads to nothing. And I'm not saying, by the way, that you should do all of this house, car, money in order to impress them. You know, you have to find the one. For her, it will be not the main thing. I get it, but you have to do it for yourself. I've seen this one thing many times. No, it's a shame for a man to not see what his body is capable of until he's young, because there, you know, at some point you will be 50, 60, and you will never know how you could have looked if you have put in the work. And that's why I love the gym so much. And the same thing goes for everything else. Career, life, relationships. Now you have all the energy in the world, all the opportunity. Use it to make the best out of it. I mean, and channel. This is also a thing, you know. I'm also pissed off all the time. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just yesterday we had such a day. He was angry as fuck. I was angry as fuck. We were sometimes getting, you know, at each other or something like that, just because of the situation. It happens. At least try to channel that thing into something useful. The gym, the work,
you know, I don't know, creating videos, something like that, you know, getting to know, you know, with other dudes that are like you, not those, you know, drowning themselves with self-pity or something like that. What's bad is if you sedate yourself with things that do not matter. I mean, it's not a problem here and there, you know, I'm not those no-fab dudes who will rant all day, oh, stop off, boy, because, you know, it will rob your energy and shit. For me, no problem. You can, you know, play a video game every once in a while. We play Counter-Strike every once in a while just because it's fun. And I don't feel myself emasculated because of it.
Oh, we played a video game, you're not a real man.
Like Mike Tyson said, so what?
Oh, so what? So what? I'll still kick your ass.
Yeah.
You know, in most cases. And when it comes to that. So it's about the attitude. Everybody's talking about mindset for a reason. Because that's really what it is about. It's all you have in life. You know, the very heart of yourself, what I call the essence of a man. If everything is stripped off, this is something my father told me a long time ago. If you strip off the clothes, the connections, people you know, all the fancy packaging, you as a man, what you stand for, what you react to, how you carry yourself, how you protect your values, how you stand your man, and all kinds of those things that are getting very evident if you come in a close environment, in a close collective of other men, you know, prison, army, something like that. We don't have that in society, and that's why everybody's so freaking soft today, because there's rarely some spot or some place where those things can be challenged. Nobody's getting challenged today. You know, everybody is just pretending to be with the social media thing. And that's why you shouldn't trust social media so much, you know. It's so easy to compare yourself to 100,000 other dudes who are hard and happy and perfect on fucking social media, but they have also, you know, their bodies in the basement. You know, when you look at their life outside of Instagram, they're not as tough as you think. We're the perfect example of this loneliness epidemic. But other than, you know, we are not suffering from it, and the only valuable message I can give is just put in the work. You know, have trust in yourself, because there's not so much more you can do. You know, I remember myself being 20, it's like yesterday. Here, like 24. No, I remember it very clearly. Someone asked me, oh, you're almost 40. How is it? How is that like? I can tell you how is that like. I can picture myself, remember myself perfectly, very clearly when I was 20. It was like yesterday. But I can also see myself as a 60-year-old man perfectly, easy. I know it will be very, very soon, and I don't have much time left. And that puts me in a spot where I am greedy about time. I don't want to waste it on bullshit no more. And that's why I'm at this phase of my life. You know, I'm not a rainbow team player or something like that. You know, I also am interested in women, but I don't want to waste my time on bullshit dates until I'm not in a spot I want to be in my life. You know, financially, mentally, everything else. And this is what happened to us. You know, as I mentioned, 22, we had to leave the country, start fresh. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm paying the price again in my life. You know, to be again at a spot where I will feel myself decent. Not for her, not for anybody else, not for society, but for myself.
You know, I mean, to all the guys out there who are gonna see this video, we don't want to play some, you know, mindset coaches here. You have to live your life this, or you have to do this, I don't know, go to the gym and read some books. No, not at all. All this Sigma lonely trend on Instagram, it's all about a personal choice. I mean, if you want to decide, okay, I want to suffer, and, you know, I will not doing anything about that, and to sit at home and just cry and complaining, well, no problem, it's your choice. You can do this. The guys who want to see this, they will perfectly understand us. You know, you are fighting just you know, for something, pushing further and try to build something up in your life, or, you know, you can stay at one place
and stick with it,
and you will have no progress, and you can see what with your life will happen, you know.
As simple as that.